Halito, everybody. Welcome back. This is CT over at the NYC Indian, and today we're going to be reviewing Seeking Sister Wife. Okay, so just to get it over with, yes, my hair is different. For 2 years, it's just a short little side note. For 2 years, I wore my hair in two-strand twist. A lot of people thought I had locks in my hair, like permanent locks, dreadlocks, whatever you want to call them, but they were just two-strand twists that got really fuzzy all the time. And the 2 year stretch has come to an end, so now my hair is loose. So that's out of the way. Okay, you don't care about that. You're here for the shenanigans and the ridiculousness. All right. So this is welcome back. I mean, I feel like it's been a while. I don't remember when's the last time I went on exactly, but trying to get my hair together, quite honestly, was a little bit of a task within itself, and it took several days. So now I am refreshed and ready to review this, this shite show for you. So this is, this is the NYC Indian. We're coming from a mixed perspective, a native perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's get right into it. So this episode is called Roses Are Red, But Not the Bed. And oh God, listen, I don't know if this one made me lose my lunch faster than the last one. I can't tell. So we start up with the Merrifields, and they're all like, gathering around the counter and stuff like that. And Danielle's parents are there because they're going to be moving in or moving onto the property into their own apartment. That Garrick and Danielle are building for them. And, it just seems like, I can see where Danielle gets her passiveness from. Her parents both seem to be that way, even though, I mean, they expressed, concern about Derek's choice to do all this nonsense, but she's kind of like them, right? No one seems to really be putting their foot down, like, what the hell are you doing to my daughter? How dare you, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they just always figured, maybe they'll get a house in this in the end. Who knows? But yeah, so they're moved into their new house, and what's her name? Roberta. She is like MIA. They're calling her and the phone's ringing, and he's like, hoping she's going to pick up. And he's like, oh, let's pray. Let's pray. Like, he's just so done with Danielle, right? I mean, obviously he divorced her last year or a year and a half ago, however long ago that was, to be with Roberta. And it looks like Roberta is not even, I mean, is she coming back? I don't know what the deal is with that. So I know her mom is, sick, from what she was saying. So, but the lack of communication, that kind of says a lot. I mean, maybe she just met somebody. You know what I mean? Maybe she just met a nice guy down there in Brazil who's like whining her, dining her, and he's like, and not having to have her deal with bringing in some other woman, aka Leah from Central Casting, to kind of shake things up. And, Danielle's over there with her little, her marionette string. She is just masterminding and puppet stringing this along. I mean, Derek, I almost called him, well, we all know what the internet nickname is for him. I won't call him that, but Garrick, not Derek, sorry. Garrick is obviously behind all of this, but Danielle, I mean, nobody put a gun to her head to go divorce him. Like, she's trying to basically manipulate the situation without actually, fully leaving and just cutting this guy off. I mean, come on, you got kids. Why do you want your kids around? This is ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, so she doesn't pick up the phone, and they're all upset or whatever. But I'm not buying any of Danielle's BS, right? Because she's pretending like she's so sad. Like, I was just waiting for her to do like the little arm stroke she likes to do to people, like she's kind of petting them when she feels bad for them. And she was like, yeah, we had this place built, so to be soundproof, so we wouldn't hear anything. Like, come on, this is so nasty. You should not listen. When you have kids in the house, you're not supposed to be doing stuff like this. This is just out of control. I mean, there's reasons why, like, this type of thing is illegal anyway. So, okay, so now we're going to get to the Epps family. So the Epps, guy is now talking about, or I'll call him, what's his name? Is it Marcus? Is that, I don't remember. Well, if you guys remember, you can correct me in the chat. I'm just going to call him Epps, the Epps guy for now, because I don't have his name on me at the moment. So, okay, so he's talking about this new woman named Janae. So she's the new potential. But here's the kicker. He's like, well, she's not really completely, privy to, all the different details of my lifestyle. So I feel like if I tell her in person, I can kind of slowly reveal that. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to get this woman. Listen, I really hope. I just can't imagine that someone would go on a national television show and not sign, whatever kind of contracts that they have to sign. So she must know she's going on a show called Seeking Sister Wife. So I can't imagine that she is completely in the dark about this. But you know what? Fine, we'll go with it. So if she is really completely just thinking that she's going to be, meeting up with Marcus after all these years and, reconnecting after all this time or whatever, then, boy, does she have a surprise waiting for her. So now, he's telling, India and the first wife, oh my goodness, what is her name? I can't remember. I'm sorry. The first, we'll call wife number one and wife number two. The wife number two is the young one, India. So he's explaining to them about how he's interested in this woman and he wants to have this date with her and he wants to have these rose petals and stuff like that leading to the bed. And then India puts the brakes on that. She's like, wait a minute, to the bed? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you just brought this person up, and she's feeling insecure because she knows that this Janae woman is someone that is from his past. So she feels like, oh, this is somebody he's known from a long time ago. And the first wife is like, how many people that you didn't marry, like how many people that you formerly dated or almost dated, are you going to continue to bring home? I mean, she's asking, a good question, but at the same time, her complacency is just, it is mind boggling. I just do not understand why she just sits there. Girl, you can listen, take those pretty little curls and go. You could find somebody like that. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. I'm very, very confused about that first wife. And so this is when India starts to say, well, hey, listen, really, to tell you the truth, I don't want, oh, sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. I hope you guys didn't hear that. And hopefully the sound is okay as well. If it's not, let me know. India is expressing like, hey, I don't want you thinking about trying to sleep with this woman so fast. And oh, hi guys, whoever's watching, thank you for watching, and thanks for the thumbs up too. Hey, and if you guys are enjoying it, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a lot. So anyway, getting back to India, India is like, I don't want you sleeping with this woman. You just met her. And why do you need to be thinking about moving somebody in so fast? I am talking, sorry guys, just a little clarification. I'm reviewing last week's episode. So I know tonight's episode is going to be coming on where I am on the West Coast. It hasn't come on yet. So I'll be discussing that tomorrow. So for right now, I'm just behind. That's all. Sorry. I'm discussing last week's episode. So then that brings up, some conversations that they previously had where she said, hey, listen, I may leave you. She has threatened him in the past. And then he's feeling, insecure because he's like, I don't like when you say that, because she says like, why does she need to move in here? Because she's basically saying like, you just introduced the idea of this woman. Now you're talking about sleeping with her. And now you're talking about moving her into the house. Like, are you serious? Well, maybe somebody can move down the street. And, he's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Are you trying to say that you don't want to live in the house anymore? And then, he starts saying like how she's threatened him in the past. But, the thing is that India is not built for this. Okay. Most people with a brain are not built for this. This is not a healthy kind of situation, right? It's too many people to satisfy. I mean, that's what monogamy is, That's my own personal opinion. I think monogamy is for a reason, not for anything religious whatsoever. I'm not a religious person. I just think it doesn't make any sense to bring all these people to complicate your household and your family. So anyway, so basically, he talks her off the ledge, of like maybe thinking about moving out. And he just kind of smooth talks her. And this is all a part of what we see in people who groom people. And grooming can happen in many different ways. Grooming doesn't always have to happen in the way of like, out on the street corner, on like a prostitution stroll type area, or it doesn't have to just happen in places where there's sex workers. Grooming happens in different ways. And I'm going to get to that grooming topic a little bit later with some of the other couples. So, eventually he just, says whatever is the right thing. And she's like, okay. And like, she's all pacified or whatever. I'm just not getting it. So now let's go on to Sidian. So Sidian is like, giving me, I don't know, is he not giving you like if Johnny Depp had a very nerdy, taller brother with like some like maybe not full on hair loss, but like some major thinning. Because you notice about one thing about him, he actually has a really good hairline. Because I'm like, what's going on with the hair? You all know me. I worked in the hair industry for a very long time. It's like, what's going on with the hair, right? So when I got a good look at it, because you remember he had like dreadlocks on one side, it was shaved on another side, it was a bang over here. Look, all these, like, pick a hairstyle, please. So now that he's gotten rid of the locks or whatever that was in his hair, and now it's just like a shaved side, and it's like, it looks like, 12 strands just kind of hanging there, right? And I'm not understanding that. So I was like, okay, what's going on with the hair? So while he was on the beach with Ariel and the wind is blowing, yes, I'm very random and I do tend to go off on tangents, but I gotta talk about the hair situation. So the hair is blowing the other way, and I said, oh, okay, I saw his hairline. He had a good hairline. I think his hair is just very thin. Some people have very naturally thin, see to the scalp kind of hair. That actually runs in my family as well. So I was like, in that case, you just need to kind of cut that or just do something. It's too stringy and ridiculous looking. So anyway, he's with Ariel, and I'm still like, really trying to like check out the body language. He's like all into her, and they are on this little boat, and they're just like, loving the breeze in their hair. He loves her salty, wet, ocean drenched hair or whatever it is. And I noticed that he said salamapo to her, which, if I'm not mistaken, as far as I know, it means I love you in Tagalog. Any Tagalog speakers out there? Salamapo, it means I love you, right? So I'm like, oh, so he's telling her he loves her. But I guess that shouldn't be such a big deal if they said they already like sealed the deal, right? Because that's what they discussed. That's what he said, that they did consummate their relationship or whatever. So now they slept together. He's professed his love. Whether that was like just, like a playful kind of thing, or if it was real, I'm not sure. But he said, I did hear that. And I watched the episode twice, but for some reason I didn't hear that the first time. I heard it when I rewatched it again today. And so, I still think it's too early to tell what's going to happen with them. He seems like he's still trying to really like walk on eggshells, or not walk on eggshells, but he's really trying to make sure that she's going to be okay with the situation with Tasha. So, I wonder what Tasha's doing back home, and like how often they're speaking and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know. I just sense that she's not fully into him. I feel like when they first met, I was like, okay, I see, like she didn't seem repulsed, but I didn't feel like she was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? When you see that in ladies, like that, oh, kind of thing. I didn't get that with her. So I'm thinking, I'm still on the she's on a come up train. And listen, let me tell you something. I don't care if people want to come up on TLC shows or whatever, it's a risk to your reputation, a risk to whatever. When you come out in the public, we all take a risk when we're out in public, right? So, I do think that it is something to elevate her status, to be in the Philippines and to be on an American TV show. I think that's probably a big deal. And I'm just not thinking that she's going to long-term be down with this. Are we going to see any more like footage of her with her family? Because this I got to see. I want to see what her Filipino mama and her Filipino papa are saying, and the titos and the titas, everybody's got to say about this situation. Because, she didn't say she came from a polygamous family. So I'm very curious to know what all the the Filipino family members have to say about the situation. So they were still kind of boring. We'll talk about them again next week. or if they have them on next week. So let's go over to skin crawl, skin crawl. Ooh, nasty Nick. Okay. Oh God. You know, some things just make your skin, your flesh, just like, whew. All right. So they're at this Airbnb, and he sits there with Danielle, and he asks her what she thinks about him bringing on someone new. Like, it's only been 5 minutes, okay? Him bringing on someone new, and not only that, how she feels about the fact that she would have to marry this other person. I said, you know, I just, like, this show writes itself. I know reality TV is heavily scripted, but this show literally, I couldn't make a screenplay and come up with some of the craziness that I've witnessed on this show. And she's sitting there and she's like stammering, and she's like, you know, Danielle like has this look when she gets kind of shocked, where she just doesn't kind of like know what to do in the moment. And, you know, this is what I want to talk about: grooming. Okay, this is a serious thing. I mean, this really is a serious thing, because the action of grooming, whether it's through legal or illegal means, you know, which could be, you know, legal in the way that these people are doing it, where they're not in states that don't prohibit certain things and they know how to work around laws as long as they stay out of Utah or whatever. And then you have the human trafficking side of it. So as someone who worked in healthcare for a long time, you know, I had patients that were from every walk of life, and you get to see all kinds of things, and a lot of things that are very disturbing. And, you know, trafficking is a real thing, you know, and there are so many young people that are out there, whether they're independent like Danielle, living on their own, having an apartment, or living at home with a family, or still in high school, you know, they get them like that as well. It's just this process of a man, usually an older man, you know, coercing a woman, you know, and you could say, okay, Danielle, she's an adult. She knew what she was getting into. But did she really, though? I mean, because the way her reaction is to some of the things, I mean, yes, she is making her own conscious decisions to give consent to these, to the situation, but the grooming is very obvious, though, right? Well, you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, because, you know, he's very intellectual, right? He's intellectual. So he's got to break down, you know, like the science, and drop the knowledge about how this situation, like, he is just so beyond, because, you know, after all, he does do research at home. So she's sitting there stammering, and she's like, well, I mean, gee, I just never really thought, I mean, but yeah, well, but yeah, it's just, it's not quite what, but if it, you know, we just have to, as long as it benefits, and yeah, it just, you know, my initial idea was, but yeah, yeah, okay, just don't wake me up. Okay, come on, give me a break. Give me a break. He's talking about whose room he's going to go back and forth in between and stuff like that. And her reaction to the end of that conversation was like, yeah, yeah, okay, if you're going to slip out in the middle of the night, but yeah, just don't wake me up. She looked like, almost like it was like a peer pressure type thing, almost like she's just trying to say the right thing so that her friends or whatever, or whoever she's around, thinks she's still cool and part of the group. And it was just sad, because she's so young. I mean, you know, your frontal lobe doesn't even stop completely developed. I mean, it's not completely developed up until the age of around 25 years old. So, I mean, some of the things that we do when we're in our early 20s, we're not even fully always, not that we're not cognizant of it, but we don't always understand the complete implications of what we're doing. And I mean, that goes into a whole other bag of things, like when people commit crimes when they're 19 or 20, and, you know, it's like the brain is not fully, you know, but that's another conversation. So I just see her as someone who feels like she's independent and she's sexually liberated, which I completely support. But on the flip side of that, that sexual liberation and sexual independence sometimes means you're going to walk into a lion's den. And I'm sure when she clicked on that profile, or whatever he clicked on that profile, I'm sure when she made a connection with him, she never really expected for it to be quite what the situation is. It's just, I mean, my heart kind of goes out to her. I feel like, something is, she needs an intervention. You need your crew, you need your family, you need your people around you to kind of help you get out of these situations, or to help talk you out of situations when you're about to get into that just are completely unhealthy. And looking at April, now April she's pretty young too. She's been with him for how many years? 4 or 5 years. I mean, she's in her mid-20s. So I wonder exactly how old she was when she got with Nick initially as well, because of people that I have known that have been groomed as well as trafficked. I mean, actual trafficked. Okay. Her behavior is very much like that as well. Because of her age, it's just like the whole package with her. Now, the older one, it's April. No. I'm sorry. It's April and Jen, which is the one with the really long hair, the younger one, with the long wig, because they both have long hair. One's older, and then one is with a child who he met back in college. And then there's the new one that they brought in. I think that's Jen. I'm sorry. I think that's Jen. So anyway, yeah, Jen is the one that, her body language and how she's just she just does whatever he wants and just sits on his lap or whatever. And she's like the young, fun little toy. She's like the skinny one in the family. He probably just loves that, right? I'm wondering what went on, like how she wound up in that situation. Because I'm telling you, I've seen these groomed girls before. And boy, if the writing is not on the wall, and were the ages like all legal? I mean, what exactly was going on? I mean, he's doing just enough to not get arrested, basically, right? I mean, he's just doing it enough to keep it legal, basically. Not, oh, you guys marry each other. I'm not going to marry you guys. No, I don't want that hassle. I don't want you to feel left out. No. I think he's just smart enough to know what to do so he can get out of the situation at any moment if he needs to, but they're all stuck and married to each other. It's so gross. It's almost incestuous. It's just disgusting. He just turns my stomach. Oh, can't stand people like that. So, the older one with the child, is that April? I don't know. I guess she's just hanging in there because she's like, well, I guess I got somebody to watch my kid. And, she's probably insecure, I don't know about whatever, her age, or maybe she's just been with him so long. Maybe he's got her thinking she can't get anybody else. Maybe she's insecure about her weight. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, these two women, these educated women with good jobs, are continuing to finance this man so he can sit home and read articles and be a stay-at-home dad. Okay, I'm just concerned with Danielle. So I'm concerned for her, and I hope that she has her people that are out and that are helping her. I mean, she needs help. I mean, I know everyone's of legal age, but that doesn't mean that people don't need interventions from their people from time to time. I don't know. I feel like his segue into first telling her all this stuff, and then, this kind of Cinemax sort of soft porn hot tub scene. I mean, it was just so listen, if you want to show your body to the world, you are proud of your body, go for it, do it, right? Be an empowered woman and do that. But get an OnlyFans page and do it for yourself. I mean, is she getting cut in on this? Because all I saw was Danielle's ass on that screen. I hope she's getting royalties and whatever it is that comes along with that. I mean, girl, you can, I mean, if you're not against that, I mean, you can, You can market that is just what I'm saying, like in a way where you're not being exploited by a man is what I'm saying. Like use your own body. If you want to show your body like that on television, do it and make money. Get your money. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But don't have this sleazeball involved. And, I'm just sitting here and he's just going from woman to and talking about, like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'm feeling that. Yeah. Like so gross, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, there is not enough Clorox in Costco for someone to put me in a hot tub like that. You're already having you're switching sex partner after sex partner. He is obviously so insatiable and disgusting. And, going back with the kissing on from mouth to, oh, it was so gross. That was so hard to watch. I mean, every time she'd kiss him, I just had to turn my head to the screen. And then I would just listen to hear if there was some kind of dialogue or something going on because I couldn't watch it. I mean, I hate to say this. I'm just going to say it though. I'm just going to put it out there. Okay. Because even though you all know I'm very upfront about how I feel about this lifestyle, I think it's terrible. But, and as bad as it is, as terrible as it is, it's this bad, but maybe it would only be like this bad if you could look at this man and be like, okay, yeah, girl, you need to get out of that. But I mean, yeah, he's not terrible looking, but you still need to get out of this kind of situation. It's not even that. You just look at him and you're like, what? Like this? You're willing to subject yourself and to go against what your inner voice tells you, which is like, you want to be with Danielle doesn't want to be in no polygamous relationship. Maybe Danielle still just wants to kind of date around and stuff because she's so young. And that's what you're supposed to be doing at 20. Was she 22? I believe she's so young. That's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Have different partners. That's totally fine. You just tell people, hey, listen, I'm dating multiple people. Are you dating multiple people? So we can all be safe about, STDs and things like that. But I mean, I feel like she's just really, I don't know. Like, it's just, it breaks my heart. And this is going to follow her for the rest of her life. I mean, all of them, really. I mean, all of them. But I guess you just kind of feel bad for Danielle because, she's so young, right? The rest of them, it's like they're a little bit older. They kind of made their choices. But that Jen, I need some more background information on Jen because she just seems like, she might, like age-wise, might be like really on the cusp. You know what I mean? Like when she met him. Was she 18? And even if she was 18 and legal, I mean, it's just, yeah, legal, but still wrong. You know what I mean? Just still wrong. So anyway, guys, listen, that's it. I don't know what else to say about these people. They have just got me completely vexed at this point. So let's meet up again tomorrow. I cannot tell you what time. I have no idea what time it's going to be tomorrow, but I will try to give a little bit of a heads up time, like so it's like going to be in 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So please turn on your notifications so that I am here and creating a video going live for you guys. So that's about it. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope it's not too hot where you're at. It is very hot where I am. So that's it. Take care, stay safe, and Chipi Salacho.